Hey everyone, Skyrider here. Yay. Making a video. So, this is Asagao Academy. My first time playing it. I think this is that's my water. But let's start playing it. Or reading it, I suppose. Just as a warning, I kind of, let me move this closer. I'm bad at reading stuff, so I might mess up. Let's go. Okay. The train made its way along the gentle curve of the coast of Japan, whisking me farther and farther from home. Across from me sat a boy, face half buried in a newspaper. He was deeply entranced in whatever article he was reading, and hadn't spoken a single word to me, even when I asked if I could join him in the last compartment with any available space. He shrugged, nodded, and adjusted his newspaper without even making eye contact. It had been almost an hour. In fact, he hadn't once looked at me. Devoid of conversation, I instead took to counting the buttons on the pretentiously lush carmine seat cushions. 1, 2, 3, 21, 22, and so forth, over and over. Now and again I turned to look out the window, where the trees were blurring by. Sometimes the smeared green would break and reveal the quiet blue of the Sea of Japan. Eventually, this rapidity made my stomach churn, and I went back to counting the buttons on the seat cushion. Lol. 1, 2, 3. The train compartment shuddered around us. My eyes wandered to the boy and his jacket. It wasn't the school-issued blue that I and the other students on the train were wearing. Instead, it was green. It was a green varsity-like jacket with an embroidered patch poorly sewn on the front. So, you're a first year then? He's sparkling. Oh, he's magic. You're magic. Wait, what's this? Dear Diary. How do I close? Oh my gosh. Oh geez, things are happening. So this is the save button, and so I can save it along here, I suppose. Okay. So you're a first year then? Don't excuse my voice act. Do excuse my voice act. He folded his newspaper neatly, set it in his lap, and looked at me with a half-interested gaze. Did he just catch me staring? Oh. Now that the paper was gone, I saw his face. He watched me through heavy-lidded eyes. You have beautiful eyes, sir. His hair was immaculately groomed, his teeth straight and blindingly bright. Unlike mine. There was something about him, the way the light hit him, that made him look like he was almost sparkling. He is. You can see the sparkles. They're fabulous. Me? He glanced around the compartment empty beside us and laughed. Oh, no, I'm not a first year. I'm a third year. The train began to slow, metal wheels groaning against metal tracks. The sudden shift threatened to rob me of whatever was left in my stomach, but I closed my eyes and took a deep breath, willing myself to keep it together. What kind of impression would I leave puking on a student before I even arrived at the academy? And not a good one, you dentist sparkles. The boy frowned. I picked at the hem of my cotton skirt. That's not possible. I've never seen you before. It took me a moment of mouth fishing to find a response. It's because I'm a transfer student? You're so unsure. He laughed again. He's laughing at me. A transfer student, huh? We don't get many of those. Those crazy people. I removed my acceptance letter from the front pocket of my uniform. The paper, heavy heavy weight off-white had maculated creases from my reading it and rereading it, as if the words might have changed since the last time I read it. She seems apprehensive to come here. The boy took it, studied it, then handed it back to me.
I'll see you around.
Well then, Hannah, I suppose I'll be seeing you around. I will be seeing you around too, sir. Don't ask. He smiled at me as he picked up the suitcase lying next to him. By the time I hiccuped a response, he was already gone from the compartment. I stared out into the empty hallway of the train. It was then that I realized he, having gotten it from my acceptance letter, knew my name, and I never got his. That's a terrible, terrible thing. Oh. You hear the music? It's beautiful. Oh. The train settled at the station, and I filed out with the rest of the uniformed students. It was early April, and the last frost of winter had come and gone. Why are you going to school, arriving at school in April? Do you go to school through the summer and then, I don't know. The trees were already green, their leaves shivering and the occasional gust weaving through them. The air was mild, only a few clouds hanging in the sky. Or is this like a summer school? Hope not. I walked along the road with the swarm of blue-jacketed bodies, looking at little groups breaking off from the crowd. Everyone was buzzing so animatedly around me. I held my suitcase tightly in my sweaty hands. It was leather-bound and worth more than anything it contained. Not the sentimental value of stuff. Come on, bruh. It wasn't far to the school, and I was, for maybe the first time in my life, thankful that what I owned didn't amount to much. My school issued black Oxford clicked on the pavement. I walked this walk over and over in my mind. So many nights I lay awake, imagining what it would be to walk from the train station to Asagao Academy this first time. Not as good as you think. My new start. I always imagined that everything would change for me on this walk. That somehow everything would be magically different. Happy home life. But as I looked around, I realized nothing had changed. I hadn't changed. By the time I reached the massive gate to the academy, I forgot all about the disappointment slouching in the back of my throat. The school, framed by the gate's twisted black metal, was just as beautiful as the glossy photo I saw in its pamphlets. This was it, Asagao Academy. I glanced around. The swarm of students gathered around the gate. Beyond it, tiny blue people bounced around. Tiny blue people. That's racist. Bounced around the academy's main building. A girl pressed a button to one side of the gate. The excitement in the air was almost palpable. A few moments later, the black gate, with great effort, creaked outwards and cleared the pathway. As the rest of the group shifted into motion, I followed along, a sheep in the herd. My stomach tied itself into knots. The crowd split off into different directions. For a moment, I panicked. A tired-looking man with graying hair called out for first years. A cluster of fresh-faced students gathered around him. He is old. He can't even open his eyes. Looks like they're blurred or something. I don't know. Hey, look at that girl. I turned. A few feet away, a small group of boys were pointing at me and snickering. Pink hair? Are you kidding me? It's beautiful. How desperate can you get? Do you like my deep voice? Hot shame crawled down my neck. Holy crap, time is going fast. I attached myself to a group of girls, following a few steps behind them. In the distance, cicadas hummed in time to my shoes crunching against gravel. That doesn't look like gravel, though. Whatever. My hair? It wasn't my fault my hair looked like this. Luckily, I found myself at the girls' dormitory, a large sign in the lawn reading Primrose House. The building dwarfed me in size and sheer intimidation. How many students does Asagao have? A lot, apparently. As I approached the building, a red-headed girl lingering nearby caught my attention. I looked away, then looked back. She was staring at me. She walked over. Oh my gosh. Creeper.
Oh, you must be my roommate.
Wow. Stealing my attention. Thank you. You must be my roommate! I eyed her warily. She was smiling and bouncing in a way that suggested her views on life were akin to a perpetual bouncy castle.
What?
Me?
Bingo.
Of course, you silly. Let me guess. Room 235. Oh my gosh. Wrong room. Of course, you silly. Let me guess. Room 325? I thought back to the paper I received a month prior with a list of all the supplies I needed for the year and my dorm arrangements. Yeah, that's right. She laughed, but I couldn't figure out what was so funny. Was she laughing at me? When I found out my roommate was a transfer student, I knew you were going to be a total main character. She is a main character. I'm the main character. I'm sorry. A what? When I saw you outside the gate, I knew it was you. I mean, look at that hair. I felt a lump forming in my throat. What was she talking about? She had to be making fun of me. I hadn't spent more than 5 minutes on campus, and already I was being mocked. My hands began to tremble. Is there something wrong with my hair? Her face slackened from its amused smile to a more worried expression. Then she began to laugh again.
Oh, no. It's great. I'm sorry.
No, it's great. I'm sorry. Jeez.
Getting off on the wrong foot, aren't we? Oh, gosh.
Just stealing all my lines, aren't you?
I'm Mai Sasaki. You must be Hana.
Thanks, Mai. Yes, I am Hana. And you're stealing my lines. Whose line is it anyway? It's mine. By the way, it's mine. Come on. I bowed my head. It's nice to meet... Sorry. It's nice to meet you, Mai. Oh, that was way too high. All your school books are waiting in our room with your welcome letter. And I read the envelope. I hope you're not mad. Mai started walking to the dorm's front doors. I followed behind like a lost puppy. Did you check in at the front desk already? No, I didn't. I didn't know I was supposed to. Good. They'll offer to have a staff member give you a tour of the campus. The campus? A tour of the campus. But I can show you around. We don't get many transfer students in year 3, you know. Is that your only bag? Just the one? I'm glad I brought an extra bag of stuff to decorate our room with. I already started. I hope you don't mind. But I did wait to string the lights. I thought we could do it, you know? Together, you know? Oh gosh. She spoke quickly, the words bubbling from her mouth, and it left me no time to answer until the end of her monologue. Yeah, okay, that sounds good. She held the front door open for me, and I hurried inside. Ooh, that is a very pink area. Girls filed up and down the hallway, howling greetings and exchanging nice vague niceties that were more often than not, "How was your break?" and "Look how tan you got." Oh my gosh. Like, tits. What? It seemed like everyone knew each other. I followed Mai as she led me through the maze of students and up 2 flights of stairs. Each dorm floor looked the same as the last. Narrow white doors lining both sides of the pale pink walls. Thin gold numbers were tacked to the front of each, the numbers rising as we climbed. You're not missing anything with the campus tour, I promise. Mr. Excuse me. I almost said Excalibur, but that's a sword. Santimo. We're gonna go with that. Santimo does them every year, and he's like totally dull. He just drags me around the entire campus and talks in that weird squeaky voice of his. I'll tell you everything you need to know. I smiled, trying to let this calm my nerves. Thanks. We headed down a hallway on the 3rd floor. Mai stopped us in front of a door number 325. Here we are. That was too high. Huh. The faint smell of potpourri wafted through the room. What is that? I don't know. The walls, like the halls, were a soft, powdery pink. Mai all ready to face them with tapestries of posters, magazine cutouts, and photographs of attractive guys, apparently. I don't know. Some of the photos were cats, but most were male models and rugged musicians. A bunk bed, 2 writing desks with wooden chairs, a small dresser, and a mirrored vanity, all clearly provided by the school, were the only pieces of furniture in the tiny room. Excuse me. Whew. The top bunk was already covered in neatly tucked blankets and throw pillows of clashing patterns and colors. The bottom bunk had a single stiff-looking pillow and a thin cotton blanket that I didn't need to touch to know that was horribly itchy. I must have grimaced because Mai quickly smiled at me. I brought way too many pillows and blankets. I always overpack. I went to Italy over break, and Mom got really mad at me because I brought 5 bags, but we were only there for a week. She laughed, pulled several blankets and pillows from a bunk, and rearranged them neatly on mine. A sudden twinge of guilt and embarrassment hit me.
Perfection.
There, that's much better. Thanks, Mai. I placed my suitcase on the bottom bunk and began to unpack its contents. Several changes of clothes, pens and pencils, empty notebooks, a few photographs of my father, a dilapidated stuffed rabbit, an old portable radio, and a small black box. What is in the box? Do we get to find out? I hope so. Mai opened the curtains and sunlight poured in. So, where are you from? I slid the now empty suitcase under the bottom bunk. About 2 hours north of here. It's a small town called Amarisu. You probably haven't heard of it. I set the stuffed rabbit, Mr. Bunny, oh wow, on my bed beside a purple and teal throw pillow. Oh. Did you go to a different boarding school, or? No, I went to a public school down the street from my house.
Really?
No. Public school? What was that like? Were the students mean? Did you have a lot of friends? I always went to private schools. My parents work a lot and my dad goes overseas, so I think they stuck me here for convenience. Like, oh my gosh. Oh hey, what's that? I'd removed an ornately patterned origami crane from the black box and was setting it on the unclaimed writing desk. Oh, this? My mother made it for me a long time ago, before she died. I can just tell. I set it beside a stack of thick textbooks which I assumed were provided for me. I'll end this soon. Wow, it's so pretty. I've never seen paper like that before. Oh yeah, the lights. Let me get them. Mai went to her own desk, opened the door, and pulled out a long, thin, tangled string of fairy lights. I thought these would look nice. Here, help me string them up. She grabbed a container of push pins, then pulled her wooden desk chair out and over to one wall. I did the same with my own. Together, we pinned the lights around the perimeter of the room. Here, I'll stop here because I've been going for a while here. I'll save it there. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, be sure to leave a like, and I will see you all on Saturday for something. I don't know yet. Anyway, bye!